A single-lane modern roundabout, like the one shown here, is easy to navigate and safer than an intersection that is controlled by stop signs or traffic signals. With a raised circular-shaped central island, a roundabout is designed to promote a continuous flow of traffic in one direction, while reducing vehicle speeds to between 15 and 20 miles per hour. The low travel speeds and fewer conflict points help to greatly reduce or eliminate the occurrence of severe or fatal injury crashes. Studies reflect a 90% decrease in fatalities, a 75% reduction in injuries, 40% less pedestrian collisions, and a 37% overall reduction in crashes at intersections, where traffic lights or stop signs were previously used to control the traffic. Another benefit of roundabouts is that traffic will flow through the intersection more quickly and with less congestion on approaching roads. Roundabouts will carry about 30% more vehicles than a similar traffic signal intersection during peak flow conditions.
When approaching a roundabout, a driver should slow down and yield to pedestrians or cyclists who may be utilizing the crosswalk or splitter island. The driver then needs to look for a safe gap in the circular flow of traffic, remembering that vehicles in the roundabout have the right of way. Upon entering the roundabout, stay to the right of the center island, and never pass or overtake another vehicle after entering a single-lane roundabout. Travel around the circle until you reach your desired street, and use your right turn signal when exiting. Remember to watch for and yield to pedestrians or cyclists in the crosswalk or splitter island.
Drivers should also remember to give large vehicles the space they need to maneuver, and the smaller vehicle should drop behind the larger truck as it completes its travel through the roundabout. If you are approaching the roundabout and you hear an emergency vehicle, pull over if there is room. Otherwise, continue on through the roundabout and pull over at an appropriate place after exiting the roundabout.
When approaching a roundabout, the driver should slow down to 15 miles per hour and yield to pedestrians in the crosswalk. The driver must then yield to vehicles in the roundabout and wait for a safe gap in the flow of traffic before entering. Once in the roundabout, continue through without stopping until you reach your destination street. Use your turn signal when exiting and always yield to pedestrians in the crosswalk. In this clip, both entering and exiting cars yield to the pedestrian walking his bike in the crosswalk, but the other cyclist who is entering the roundabout fails to do so.
When drivers do not yield to traffic in the roundabout, they risk causing a crash. At times, there may be cyclists traveling in the roundabout, and drivers who are entering should be extra careful and alert. The next clip shows the first driver entering without yielding to a cyclist already in the roundabout. But the second car behind him does yield.
Drivers should stop either before or after, but not in the crosswalk, so as not to block pedestrian access.
We also see that the same vehicle did not yield to the cyclist already in the roundabout.
When approaching a roundabout, the driver should always keep your eyes peeled, slow down, and yield. When exiting a roundabout, the driver should always look before you leave, be courteous, please, and always yield to the white cane.
Because traffic moves in a circle, blind and visually impaired pedestrians have trouble determining directional intent of vehicles in the roundabout. When you see a pedestrian with a white cane or guide dog, remember to stop and yield near the crosswalk and not while still inside the roundabout. With regard to navigating a roundabout, a person has the option of walking his bike on the sidewalks and in the crosswalks, or riding his bike in the circulatory roadway. If he chooses to ride his bike in the roundabout, then he should obey the same traffic rules as motorized vehicles. Ride in the middle of the lane to prevent vehicles from passing you, and always yield to people in the crosswalks. A cyclist should never surprise a driver by entering a roundabout at an unexpected point. Always enter at designated entry points, yielding to vehicles already in the roundabout.
Most importantly, the cyclist should always travel in a counterclockwise direction so as to avoid collisions with other vehicles in the roundabout. After reaching the destination street, the cyclist should clearly signal his or her intent to exit.
Before starting to cross at a roundabout crosswalk, the pedestrian should first look left for approaching or exiting traffic, then walk to the splitter island if it is clear or if the driver yields. Before continuing, he or she should look right for exiting or approaching traffic and proceed when it is safe to complete the crossing. Look and listen before crossing. Look and listen while crossing.
The pedestrian should always cross at the designated crosswalk and never cross to the central island. The pedestrian should never surprise a driver by trying to cross at an unexpected point.